ideas. Juggernaut banned by red, Arc Warden by blue.
Remaining.
Arc Warden is potentially very high impact. I think I'd rather see something like Nature's Prophet if you wanted a pushing hero like that. But Nature's Prophet isn't as greedy. Speaking of greedy, or at least late game, Outworld Devour, banned by blue, another good mid. So they're seeming to target the mids at the moment. And Team Red have decent roaming right now. The Vengeful Spirit by herself is a good roamer, but bringing Jakiro for that added bit of damage, or the incredibly powerful slow on Dual Breath is high, could lead to a pretty simple kill. And then Storm Spirit banned by red. This leaves, I think Lena's kind of coming back a little bit. Death Prophet's still pretty chic right now, pretty in. Shadow Fiend is available. He's been fairly popular.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
But blue decided to pick up a roaming 4 in the Clockwork. Gives you good vision. The cogs are great to set up for AA's cold feet. It's practically a guaranteed stun if you cogs them.
10 seconds
Red
remaining.
Have to get their off lane. This could be a safe lane Vengeful Spirit. Something that I've seen the teams who all hang out in that same Discord PTFO, or at least a couple of the players there have played the core bench. I think it's okay. I think it's not amazing against Underlord, but Vengeance Aura like balances out Atrophy Aura, so it's fine. But I'm just not a huge fan of core Venge just as a concept, I guess. But that's just personal opinion. Red taking some time, burning a fair bit into their reserves, trying to decide what they want to go for. They could still grab that Pangolier. I really like the hero against something like AA and Clock, as he can just dash out of everything, but instead they're going to go for Doom, who trades really, really well in his lane. I suppose it could be, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be offlane Doom. He recovers very, very well. If AA and Clock are really pressuring him, he can go into the jungle and devour creeps.
10 seconds remaining.
Or he could, and if you gank for him, he does a ton of damage. Infernal Blade hits so hard. It is so annoying to lane against Infernal Blade. They could even go for an aggro tri-lane and throw their safe laner in the solo lane. Put their safe laner in a 1v1 while running the Doom in their safe lane to try to just bully out this Underlord and completely shut it, or bully out, like fight the Luna. I think I might like to see that. I think damage-wise, Team Red's try, if they did Doom, might be a little bit better, but they're going to get out-harassed just by Luna's Lucent Beams, even with the Jakiro.
5 seconds remaining.
I apologize for just the stream of consciousness style cast. I was not expecting to cast today, so I'm not particularly warmed up. It's just kind of something.
Dire team ban.
Sorry about that, but Faceless Void, that's more likely to be the safe laner for Team Red. But they've decent follow, but really it's just the Jakiro. The Venge, not great with the Void. I mean, you can Wave of Terror for the minus armor, but Doom doesn't do anything with it unless he gets a creep or has like a Shiva's, and that's, I wouldn't call that exciting or even really that good. With Jakiro, it is quite good, but I wonder if they want to go something like Death Prophet for their mid, who has some sort of even more follow-up with that Chronosphere, but doing so would make them more ultimate reliant, and right now they're already very ultimate reliant. You really want to have Doom up in a fight, you want Chrono. Both those spells have very long cooldowns, especially Doom at an early level.
Radiant team ban.
Viper banned by blue, the last ban. I would have liked that for red. I think red could really benefit from a high uptime mid who can easily contribute damage outside of the Chronosphere, and I mean the OD. Banned, Viper banned.
Radiant team pick.
Dragon Knight, though, removed by red. they wanted something, I'm describing, they could still go for Shadow Fiend. I think Red can definitely get away with it. It's pretty greedy, and their draft is somewhat greedy already. But I think it could work really nicely. It's got lots of great damage outside the Chronosphere. It lanes. You have supports to make it lane pretty well. AA's ganks are bad, but clocks are great. The disadvantage is you don't know what the mid matchup is going to be for SF, and there are some really bad matchups for him out there. Something that could set up for easier kills with the clock.
Dire team pick.
Medusa.
And they're going to grab Medusa. So that's their mid. I think that's good. It's good out of chrono damage. It won't be there for a while.
Ten seconds remaining.
So
5
blue, they
seconds
know it's going to
remaining.
be Medusa in mid. Their ganks are, I mean, just Cloud by himself since some great ganks, but since AA can't contribute a ton unless he gets cold feet off, which, depending on Medusa's positioning, if they're mid, and I don't know who of them plays mid, is positioned pretty well, it'll be kind of hard to get him in the cogs and then kind of hard to get him in the cold feet. But Medusa's fairly slow, so not undoable. Yeah, they have decent ganks with that. If they missed that, though, I think it's fairly difficult. And then I'm kind of wondering about their damage. It's okay, but against Medusa's mana shield, it could be somewhat difficult, I think. Blue, still Death Prophet for them if they want it. They've got a good building hitter already with Luna. They have a pretty good looking Death Ball. Their team fight, not that ult reliant, and even the ults they do have aren't horribly long cooldown. Okay, Luna's ult cooldown is pretty long, but Ancient Apparition, it's very short. And with Luna's aura plus the Underlord aura, and he's going to probably go for a mechanism, they could definitely group up and just shove. So maybe they want to go something that can do that early, that is happy to do so. But we're going to find out. They're going to go for Monkey King. I'm pretty sure that's a mid Monkey King, but it could theoretically be a mid AA. Mid Monkey King against mid Medusa. I think that's a great matchup for the Monkey King. Jingu costs no mana, so doesn't have to worry about the Mystic Snake, and he just hits hard. Sets up for some great stuns. I really enjoyed the Monkey King pick from them. It is pretty greedy, but I think blue, they might benefit more grouping up early and trying to fight early. I mean, Venge, Jakiro, all of these heroes on red scale pretty well. Once they get some items, they get really, really scary. Meanwhile, on blue, the only heroes that really need items are Luna and Monkey King, and they don't need that many to be of reasonable effectiveness with the Luna Aura and Eclipse, or Monkey King, in his case, Jingu Mastery, providing a large amount of stats in terms of just what they get from their kits, what they get without any gold. I think I like Blue's draft a little bit more than Red's. I think Red, it's pretty greedy, and they're so ult reliant too. I think when Chronosphere is down, they're just not looking all that great. And then when Doom is down, and there's just a lot of factors they have to consider.
Prepare for battle.
Enough talk. Well, I mean, this whole point of casting is talking. Nubles playing the Doom. Jakiro played by Kung, while Root plays Venge. In the mid, it is Spade on the Medusa, and Neo playing the Faceless Void. Rebel Roy on the Monkey King. Luna played by Fate. Underlord by Punk. Benji playing the Ancient Apparition, and Retman on the clock. And it looks like they may be considering doing a tri-lane themselves, but they have 4 heroes down here, so they'll probably just TP everyone up. Maybe they want to invade, but there's no Radiant heroes here.
"30 seconds to battle."
So they're not going to find anything except maybe this Doom, and there is some kill potential. They did start the AAE, so a lot of bonus damage. Monkey King hasn't skilled anything just yet. Oh, he's a courier. He's huge. That's so obviously Monkey King. And both teams probably getting 2 bounty runes apiece. Blue seemed like they really wanted to get a first blood and then end up just conceding their bounty rune at top. So no real loss. They will probably have to TP some heroes out.
This is quite exciting.
But I wouldn't have minded seeing blue run a tri-lane, and it looks like red had the same plan. So I guess both teams running tri-lanes, and both teams will be brawling up a lot here. A 1v1. It is going to be Doom versus Faceless Void, or Underlord versus Faceless Void, I should say. Nope, Underlord versus Doom. I was right the first time. Half of my minimap is cut off. My taskbar is not going away. Ratman harassed. Magic Missile. Void doesn't really have great follow-up for early game fights, unless he gets a time lock proc. This is incredibly annoying. How do I send my taskbar to the back? Because it just is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right. Well, the mid matchup I think is really rough for the Medusa. I think it's just not great for her. This bot matchup a little more interesting. I mean, Infernal Blade is great against Underlord, but Firestorm does some pretty good work against the Doom too. Up top, this tri-lane. I like the Dire tri-lane a little bit better. Magic Missile. His Battery Assault has timed out. Lucent Beam. Kung getting low, but do they have the damage? Fate taking a ton from the burn and might actually die here. Has Lucent Beam again. Not going to time walk forward aggressively. They're going to try to cancel Rhett's salve, but I think he should get some decent value out of it. And Luna, her salve on cooldown for a couple of seconds, and another Magic Missile got a little too far forward. Nice use of the Mango. First blood for Root, but will they get some sort of redemption? AA not attacking the same target as the Clockwork, and I think Kung, nope, doesn't manage to survive and gets beat down by the Cogs. Some more damage on Root. They're trying to get him a Magic Missile and a double kill for Root. Luna's back here now, though, and I don't believe they get anything unless Luna gets really out, or Venge gets out of position and gets beamed. Bot Doom has used his salve. Luna and Void roughly the same CS. Venge, she's just gonna walk on home.
Jackpot.
Ratman. This clock, now that he's level 2, and we need to get level 2 after the kill on the Jakiro. A lot more potential here for both sides, for the blue. I keep wanting to call red blue and blue red, because red is dire, or blue is dire and red is radiant. Rhett trying to harass with his cogs. Just drain some mana, push people away. Ancient Apparition. This is the one advantage, like running a tri-lane up here like this. Oh, but they might get the kill on Fate. He's getting very, very slow. Void time walking away from the Battery Assault. Rhett trying to keep them zoned out, but the right-click damage is just too much. Or is it? She's barely alive. Cold Feet, but they can't trap her, although I think right-clicks may be enough. One more. She's ice. Lucent Beam as the salve heals up Fate. He comes back in ready to fight some more. And Neo, the Faceless Void. Oh no, Rhett! Cogs right here. Zook stopping Fate from chasing what should have been a kill on the Faceless Void. Denied. Very unfortunate for blue, but red are counting their blessings. Mid Monkey King is out denying the Medusa, but she's keeping up in last hits, so she is a small amount behind in levels. And if Roy can ever actually right-click her 3 times, I'm pretty sure she just dies. I don't really see how she would survive. The rank 3 Jingu is what? 120 damage, then you crit? Yeah. No, she wouldn't survive that. Only 600 HP. I mean, 7 armor helps a little bit. DD on Punk deters Nubels from fighting, even with the Infernal Blade. But Nubels can go into the jungle, whereas Punk cannot. The Infernal Blade takes not that scary at rank 1, and Punk, without Atrophy Aura, he can't get a kill either. So these demonic offlaners Or I guess the Doom is safe laning. Just unable to really get a kill on one another. Even if Nuble's, maybe if he had a good creep. But it just doesn't seem to be taking a whole lot of damage. The right clicks from Punk just really outdoing Nuble's. Rat, no cogs. A cold feeding the creep, wants to farm that up, but will he get it? Nope, the catapult gets it. Very unfortunate. This ward allowing them to play a bit more aggressively, knowing that they're not necessarily going to be punished. Battery Assault, but Rhett, you're really slow. Magic Missile, they go in onto the Luna, though, or at least Neo does, and Rhett very, very low. He has cogs. Lucent Beam slows up one, but Rhett, they're both ranged, these supports. He needs to get away from them. He's ticking down from the Liquid Fire. Neo has to bail the dual breath. It did hit. I think he actually burns to death here. Just barely dies, but so does Root. Another 1-to-1 in this try-v-try situation. And it's a support for a support once again. So this tri-lane has been pretty even for both sides. I don't think either side is that worried about how it's gone, except that Void has gotten 3 assists, whereas Luna only the 1.
Invisibility.
Venge dropping a clarity off for her mid laner, while Roy sneaks off with this Invis rune, and they may find a kill onto this Doom. He's not very healthy. Oh, they can just Boundless Strike him. Firestorm, and they haven't used the Boundless Strike yet. Don't feel the need. They throw it. It does connect, and one more right click. Roy making short work of him, and at top, they lose another core. Neo killed by Clock. So 2 for 0 across the map. We don't get to see both kills on the kill feed, but it does free up some space for the Medusa for red. Although blue, very, very happy with that, I think. You get the off-lane Doom, who is basically a safe lane here. I mean, he's in the safe lane. And you also kill the Clockwork, but Rhett burns down again. He's not having a great time, 2-3-2. But, I mean, it could be a lot worse than 2-3-2. Nubo's trading up with Punk. With that Atrophiora, his right click is just so much more fearsome. Unless Infernal Blade is up, and it just doesn't seem to be doing that much right now, the Infernal Blade. 25 plus. I think he should have probably maybe gotten the 2 points in Devour and then maxed the Infernal Blade. I just feel like that would have made him a lot more frightening in this lane. He would have had a lot more presence, because right now it just doesn't do that much damage. He popped the Soul Ring, and now he's doomed, though. That Soul Ring just contributing to his demise, it seems. The Scorched Earth, too. He's just going to burn down. Pops the Soul Ring deep behind enemy lines, and just killed off by Nubles. Just as I was saying, you know, this lane was rough for him. He finds a solo kill. The score is 5-5. Both teams 10 kills in 8 minutes is quite a lot. I mean, it could be more. Always. Always could be more. But definitely very active. Rhett has the battery still going the ice path. Icing up Benji. And now Rhetman himself could be trapped in. They're trying to trap Neo, but Neo gets rooted. He doesn't have Time Walk. Oh, he used it aggressively or used it at the wrong time, but Luna getting Magic Missile Fate. Trying to get away from Root. She's slowed up. What a good slow. That Ice Vortex really keeping him in. And speaking of keeping him in, the Cog's coming out too. Rhett, very low. Will probably die, but it looks like it's 2 for 1. The first, I think, really favorable trade in this try-v-try situation. I think it's the first time either side has gotten a real advantage over the other, and it could be even more of an advantage as Monkey King with a double damage rune dances in the trees, and he's ready to style on some people. He finds the Jakiro, who does have mana to Ice Path, but there's a Boundless Strike, and one more hit. The killing spree ended, so that Jakiro worth quite a lot of gold. And blue, for the first time this game, seemed to build some small lead as red has the top. But actually, you know what? Maybe they don't, because red are out CSing blue in every lane now. The Medusa has been left alone long enough that she's really caught up in levels, really caught up in farm.
Bottom tower has a nasty situation. Gallant Radiant have fortified their structures.
And I mean, just looking at the overall net worth, we see it's Underlord sitting at the top, but after that, it's Medusa, it's Doom and Dusa, with Monkey King a little bit behind them, and Luna appears to be struggling. not badly, and it's only 10 minutes into the game, so of course she can catch up, but she's just a little bit behind this Void. So the game's still incredibly even though the last couple trades seem to have been going Blue's way. Drums complete on Noobles means maybe he gets a little bit more active. Alright. Magic Missile. Oh, a bash time block. Nice. Another time block. Trying to root down Neo, but they just can't. Luna can skill up Eclipse too. Sorry, I'm trying to move the taskbar around my screen so that it's not in the way of the minimap.
Dire's middle tower is in the wrong end of business.
Benji will soon have that level 6, a really important spell for Blue to get, and it'll go great with the Luna Eclipse.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Mid though, Spade. This finishes Morbid Mask and will soon just have the full Mask of Madness.
Dire's middle tower is under fire.
Medusa, the top net worth hero at the moment. The first Ice Blast of the game, gonna whiff the Ice Vortex, spotting Root, but do they have the damage? I don't think she wants to Eclipse for this. She hasn't popped it just yet. She wounded it up but canceled it. Now throwing it down but away from enemy heroes. 2 beams, 3 beams do kill Venge, but that's the last of the beams. And that's all that they'll get. And now a TP from Doom. He's got no Doom, but he does have his drum charge, throwing it down. Ice Blast won't hit the cogs, pushing back both Noobles and the Jakiro. Neo jumping away after getting bursted down, and the rotation of this Doom, all for naught. Although, he did kill the Underlord at bot with that ult. He did recently commit for that. Worthwhile for him to rotate, I think. If unfortunate they didn't get a kill, and I think maybe kind of a low percentage kill anyway. Oh my god, of course. And Fate, they send him bot as this Luna. They want to give her some more space, get her some levels. That's the big issue with the tri-lanes is you just don't really get levels on your heroes. They did get 6, now 7 on the Ancient Apparition, which is very, very good. Will help them take down high HP heroes like Medusa. Will help them nullify some of the healing that Doom gets from his Scorched Earth. Because 4 to regen is quite a lot of regen. Monkey King pinging out Noobles, who's going for that Shadow Blade next. Just wants to get the jump on people with the Doom. But up here now, they got the root onto Neo, but he's able to jump away and mitigate all of that damage with the time walk. That hero, incredibly hard to bring down. And Luna, they need to be a little bit careful. Just gonna, the stomp misses, but Fate taking a lot of burn damage. There's no Infernal Blade for 10 seconds. And they really can't leave her down here. I think he's just gonna go for the dive, but a TP discouraging him. And this Luna just feels like she's a little bit... I mean, Void isn't doing that great either in terms of his farm, but he survives a lot better. As I say that, though, he's getting very, very low the time walk. Ice Blast just not going to hit in time. I think they need to hit the Ice Blast and then go for the engage cogs. But just for show. I've seen him twice now get stuck on his own cogs, or a teammate get stuck on his cogs. Venge buying her Tome, wants to get her swap up and going. Probably a much more valuable ult than Macropyre, which... I think Macropyre gets more valuable as the game goes on, when you can start dropping it onto like to D-push waves, to siege high ground, those kinds of things. But before that, Oof. Underlord, the first chrono of the game coming out, trapping him. Monkey King with his Echo Saber on the way soon. Get those Jingu stacks added up a little bit more quickly. I wonder if he would have had considered Battle Fury. It's something I think a lot of Monkey Kings used to really like, because I believe you do get the cleave off of the Wukong's command. You know, Benji, he's not very mobile. The magic missile hits, but Neo doesn't seem interested in pursuing directly underneath the tower. Oh, the aggressive swap, though, removes the need for that. And one more second Ice Blast. I think it does miss Root. And that was the only hero that they had any chance of killing. And even then, not really likely. Noobles has his Doom back up. Roy is low. Will he see Fate? I think Fate saw Noobles. He does have Doom, so Fate needs to be very, very careful. Will they be able to get the deny? He's taking so much damage, and there's no way they're getting that deny, and it's a killing spree for Noobles. And now the Clockwork Monkey King, I should say, Rebel burning. He doesn't have the Jingu, so it doesn't heal. The Pit of Malice zoning them out, but he's just so much damage over time. Each of the 3 Radiant heroes in mids taking one for themselves and getting that last hit. A 4K gold lead for Red, who had a brief couple of minutes of losing trades before just flipping the switch and really starting to dominate. The Ice Blast will do little but tickle them.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
And with the first tier 1 of the game falling for the Radiant, for Red, they now have built a 6K gold lead. And they may get something more here. They're going after the Monkey King, but the Pit of Malice traps Root in. Tree Dance to slow. A couple more right clicks, but he's in that ice path, swapping himself back to protect himself, but now sacrificing his teammate as the Eclipse comes in. Neo jumping away, but the Lucent beams, it's just too much, and now an ice pass. It does graze the bench. She has the debuff, so only needs to get a little bit lower before she dies to it. But speaking of dying, Redman shot down by Medusa. She's doing quite a lot of damage as she picked up her 20 damage talent, and the Venge Aura helping with that quite a lot.
Radiant's bottom tower has uninvited guests.
So another very good fight for, I mean, it was an okay fight for Blue. Red, no it wasn't. No, it was okay for Blue.
Radiant's bottom
I got it switched again. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. It was a really good fight for Blue there, able to kind of, I mean, the Luna killed the Void, killed the Jakiro, so a little bit of something that they really needed, but that doesn't change. It didn't really do much. If they killed Medusa, it would have been a great fight, but Medusa's still 2.5K ahead of the Luna in net worth. Doom also really far ahead in net worth.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Medusa trying to complete a Hurricane Pike. Give her some mobility, some more int. I mean, all the stats of that item are really great for her. The active also really wonderful for that hero. They see Punk, Infernal Blade, Centaur Stomp, and that's all they really need. The hook shot going in deep, but is that really so wise, Rhett? Noble ambitions, but your ambition may have gotten the better of you here. The Stone Gaze, they can't pursue Noobles any further. Counter Strike does a lot of damage, but not enough. And the Ice Blast hits Spade, but without the hook shot on available, they really don't have the damage or any way to really get back into that fight. Sorry, my did accidentally tab out, and my camera controls are being a little bit wacky, but seems the issue has passed, and Medusa continuing to get bigger and bigger. The XP lead for Red almost as large as their gold lead at about 6K. The team fight potential for Blue is okay. I mean, you've got Eclipse and Ice Blast, and that makes for a nasty, nasty fight, especially in the mid game. But Red are getting really great individual pickoffs. The team, I was really worried that they just wouldn't have the sustained damage. So it's things like Chrono without Doom, but they're making do without those spells and getting really excellent engages and finding really good pickoffs. And speaking of finding pickoffs, Punk, Pit of Malice, catches on one. They see the Doom right here, but actually no, they don't. They don't actually find him with the dust either. Now they do dust him eventually. Catching the cogs. Luna's here. Chronosphere catching Monkey King in the Macropyre too. The Luna Eclipse. Hitting one, Medusa popping her ultimate, going in deep. Retman very, very low. They pop the shrine, trying to keep the team alive. Spade going right up the high ground, unafraid to swap back onto Red, getting him out of that sanctuary. So he does die, but Root also getting low. The Firestorm doing so much damage, but Spade very, very tanky. The Infusion Raindrops helping with that, and a great Ice Path from Kung. The dual breath, time dilation, they're keeping him all slow. Fate, you've got to get out of there. He has 12 stick charges. They're trying to Uber out, but he's so low they can just kill the Underlord, or can they? The Wave of Terror, he's alive. Luna trying to get out with her Underlord, And Void will jump away. He's spotted by Neo. Has the Boundless Strike, stunning one. The right click's doing so much. Can he time walk? He can't. But it was a Monkey King buyback. They do eventually get 3 in a very hectic fight, going up high ground against that Sanctuary. I mean, they feel that they're ahead, but incredibly risky to do that, no matter what position that you're in. And we see a 1.1k gold swing, even with the Monkey King buyback for Blue. Doom onto Monkey King, and it's a dieback now. Has the Jingu mastery, but Doom will not allow him the satisfaction of man fighting him. Up top, Luna slowed up, Ice Path, Fate, and just here, they've got Macro Pyre. They can swap her into the Macro Pyre again. Wave of Terror, good execution from these supports, and I mean that in more ways than one. Executing Luna and executing a nice combo too. Well, Spade chases down the poor Ancient Apparition. A little too fast for her, though. Spade going right for a Butterfly next. I think that's okay. I mean, you're against the Monkey King and the Luna, very right-click oriented, though in team fights I think she should be a little bit worried about that Eclipse more than the Luna right clicks at the moment, as Luna not that well farmed, not even close to her Yasha yet, so she's appears to me that just Blue are kind of failing to take off. They didn't really get, their tri-lane went okay. I mean, Void was the same net worth as the Luna for a very long time, and they're going to get a nice pickup on Noobles here, but it just seems like they need some more of that right there. They've got really good pickoffs with Clock, Monkey King, AA. Speaking of, he launches an Ice Blast up to the top lane. It's going to graze a couple.
He's under attack.
They have hook shot. They do. He does launch it. It hits the bench. He's got Cogs trapping in Spade. That's the hero that they want to trap in. She stone gazes. There is a Luna Eclipse. They haven't used it yet. The Underlord turned to stone. Void trying to get in there. He has a Chrono. Hits 2. Underlord and AA. Underlord squishy. Very low HP, but the Luna Eclipse starting to stick down on Spade, but she's still really, really tanky. Now going after some more, and there's no heroes nearby. So despite the Eclipse commitment, they can't get anything out of it, and they lose their Underlord under their own tier 2. That Medusa, I think Fate should have committed to chasing the Medusa. The Eclipse, I think, would have absolutely killed her. A couple more, let's see, what's the max beams on a hero? Because she got hit by 3. Max beams per hero, 5? Yeah, 2 more would have been a death for the Medusa. She had less health and less mana than she does right now. Worst possible time to come out of that tree. And Noobles wants some more. He's got drum charges in 1 second till the Infernal Blade is back. Benji starting to feel the heat. And now with the swap back and an Infernal Blade, a Magic Missile, and 1 right click from Spade. He really could not handle that. And another nice pickoff for Red, who are boasting a 10k gold lead with XP at about 7,500.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Not only that, Red do have 2 tier 2s left up, while Blue have just the 1. Uh-oh, there's an Infernal Blade waiting for you, as is a Centaur Stomp, chain stunning him. He mechs, but just not enough healing. Their damage is really, really incredible. How much damage is he getting from the Venge? 30-ish? 29, actually? Ice Blast is really great against the Void, though, because it prevents him from time walk healing. And they just need to get a really good Ice Blast. Benji hasn't really been able to, they haven't landed that combo of Ice Blast into Eclipse, which is a pretty good combo that they've got for them. But they just haven't been able to find it yet. It can be kind of hard to land this Ice Blast. The way Red are positioning, they've always got heroes in different places because they want the Venge to be able to safely swap someone out, and he's been positioned to do that, but might not be able to save this Doom. They still see him. He dooms up 1, but oh, the Jingu just wearing off, and Monkey King getting really, really low. The Infernal Blade takes. They're going to have to deny this guy. Will they be able to time it? I think they should. And Noobles with DD wants to find Red. The Monkey King no longer part of the equation. Denied by the clock. Infernal Blade. Chrono onto 2. Benji and the Ret on Ret, but Will they be able to follow up? No, the cogs nicely done from Red. Don't know if that was on purpose or not, but great timing regardless. Able to push the Void out of his own Chronosphere, protect his two teammates, and Luna committing the Eclipse for Noobles. Noobles does die, but Spade continues to chase down high ground. Great cogs again. So, oh no, not great cogs. Trapping 3 heroes inside. Benji burning in the Macro Pyre, and Luna now isolated from her team after she was swapped out by that Vengeful Spirit. Ice Blast flying up high ground, but Spade gets the kill onto the Luna, and Ice Blast won't hit anything. Root not there to be killed off, and it looks like they're gonna get Benji too. A rocket. Clarity providing some more vision, but they already had vision there. And 2 more kills for Red. It's now a 12k lead for them. And Blue, their cores, even the Luna is still really far behind. 4k behind the Medusa, almost 5. And she's not too far from that butterfly. And with that, I just don't know that they can kill her. And what's worse, she'll be level 20 or level 20 soon for that talent. And Kung and Venge, once again, these 2 supports finding the damage, finding the kill potential to kill off a lone core of Blue. Neo did get his Battle Fury. Gonna go for a Manta next. A bunch of TPs. Neo time walking into a really awkward spot. Lucent Beam. Mask of Mana. They can't chase him down. I don't think they have the damage. And Spade right there. Something they don't want. Speaking of not wanting something, Benji doesn't want this Doom. He's just chasing him cogs, pushing him out. So Benji should be able to survive, or will he? This Doom perhaps determined. Ice Vortex. He's got drum charges and another Infernal Blade charge. The Infernal Blade should be enough, especially with the Scorched Earth still going, but it is timing out, and Clock is not able to get revenge for his teammate. Noobles, unfortunately, for the Dire. Again, I just want to keep calling them Blue, but they're Red. It's just having a hard time taking off, and this Medusa is just huge right now. She is really getting the end. Like her butterfly's almost done. Once she gets 20 with that butterfly, I just don't know if they have the damage to kill her. 700 mana plus the armor and the evasion that she's getting, not to mention the move speed or the damage the butterfly gives her. With the Venge aura, she's just an incredibly powerful hero at the moment. They've got drums they can slap down for her too. Noobles has just completed his Shiva's Guard, or at least bought the, I believe that's the completed Shiva's, yeah. And if those 2 supports couldn't run away before, if the cores couldn't run away before, they can't run away now. A conveniently timed ward, though. I don't think that Noobles knows that that's there, and he may get a little over-aggressive. And a Chronosphere cluck shot into the Chrono. They're trying to Uber in, but it might be a little bit too late. They use the Wukong's command. The Stone Gaze in a great Ice Path. Macropyre 2. They've lost Clockwork. Punk trying to get away. Rebels staying around for now. Roy needs to be cautious. They pop the Sanctuary, but there really isn't any there. Now Void wants to get Monkey King, but he leaps away. He's incredibly mobile, and I don't think they can get him, but they get 3 anyways. TPing to that shrine. I thought they were bringing the team, bringing reinforcements, the cavalry, but really the Luna should be the cavalry, especially considering literally she's riding something, which would be the literal definition of a cavalry. And Doom onto the Monkey King, Shiva's Guard, Infernal Blade, Wave of Terror. That's all they need. Hell, they really probably only needed 1 or 2 of those spells. Like, I think Infernal Blade plus Shiva's would probably been enough to secure that kill. But, you know what? Better safe than sorry. Ice Blast. It's 3, but they just don't have any follow-up. And now 20k gold and 20k XP for Red at 28 minutes. The game looking grim for Blue. It just feels to me that they didn't... It just didn't happen for Blue. Their game plan never really... They never really got the pieces put together. And again, the lanes didn't go that bad for them, especially for the first 10 minutes or so. I mean, Monkey King was able to keep even with Medusa, denied her a lot, but once he started roaming around, it freed up some space for her. Noobles, once he got a couple kills solo onto Punk, just was able to roam around forever. And then just started to have really high... Once he got that Shadow Blade, it started to really pick up where they were able to get... He's got so many individual pickoffs. And then Neo, I mean, just out-farmed the Luna. Luna and the Void were both pretty far behind, considering it was a try-v-try. There was a lot of fighting. But Red recovered from that situation where all their heroes were a little bit behind, whereas Blue did not. now sieging the tier 2 at the bot lane. I'd like to see them go for Roshan, put that on Medusa, and that's pretty much high ground.
Dire's bottom tower lies in ruins.
Perhaps a little bit nervous about the Ice Blast Eclipse. And Clock Cogs could be devastating in the pit. But I still would like to see him get Roche. It would very likely allow them to close out the game, swapping back Rhett, strap himself in his phone Cogs, the Pit of Malice, and I don't know if they have the damage to actually kill him, and Venge a little over ambitious. Will force her team back after she's died, or maybe not. I think Spade is fearless right now on this Medusa. She is huge. She's got 1 ultimate orb, 21 armor, 1500 HP, 1700 mana, and I mean the HP not really indicative of her real tankiness. Let's see, 60% of the incoming damage exchanged for mana. Put a Malice on the Monkey King, or onto Faceless Void. Monkey King, can he get out of this one? Boundless Strike, but no, one more right-click Clock hooking in. And now he's going to go down, but Eclipse in the backline looking for these supports, but just cannot find it. The Faceless Void is Chrono. Oh, the Ice Blast didn't hit him either. The Luna, her Eclipse beams were not hitting the Void, nor did the Ice Blast, so Neo able to survive, but Pung not going to be as fortunate. A triple kill for Spade. And now it's just Luna and AA without ults on either hero trying to defend. And a 25k gold lead now. 18k net worth on this Medusa. She's worth more than the Luna and the Underlord combined.
Dire's bottom tower is on its way further down.
That sentence I just spoke, one you never want to hear if you're ever playing against a hero like Medusa, or probably any hero. I mean, it's okay if an enemy core is worth more than your supports combined, but if she's worth more than your offlaner and your safe laner, that's indicative of a very rough game. Glimmer, just to be safe. I don't think they can kill this Dusa anyway.
Dire's middle tower is lost.
Shrines can go down, and Medusa brings down that AA. Hook shot going after Chikiro. Doom committed in mid, and Luna is going to die to the damage over time, I think. They may be able to deny her. Another Infernal Blade. All the while, Medusa gets a kill onto Clock. They do get Nubles as some sort of consolation. They buy back on Benji, but Spade still very, very healthy. Not only that, but the Void, full HP. Could dive in. The time dilation. Medusa won't get hit by that Ice Blast. Roy getting extremely low. He has no trees to jump to. Can't jump to trees while taking damage anyway. It's a dominating streak, and this may just be GG. They're getting rolled over in their own base. The second lane of Rax now falling. Third lane soon to come, I think. Monkey King buying back. They're trying desperately, raging against the loss.
He's not on top of things.
They want so badly to get something out of it. They slow her up. She gets the Stone Gaze. Rebel needs to be careful. Roy, look at that right-click damage from the Medusa, but she's stunned by the AA. However, their Rax at top getting low. Pit of Malice. They've got Firestorm in a second, but Void back at it. The Firestorm does a lot of damage, but it's not enough to deter them continuing to push. They at least get a lane and a half here, but this second Rax, this ranged Rax, incredibly low. The Ice Blast, it doesn't connect. It does connect onto the Void, so they may be able to find that kill, but no, the hook shot won't hit, and neither will anything else. They dust him up, but Mega's on the way. They've got Luna, theoretically a great hero defending against Megas, but it's all they have against the Megas. But Medusa perhaps overextending, but a Chronosphere onto 3, but he actually gets 4 because the Medusa, his own teammate, caught inside. They've got Eclipse too. They may want to commit that just to be safe. Swap back, swap out. Medusa's still alive, but will eventually die. Now the Eclipse coming in, tanked up by a lot of creeps, and he's chasing down Kung. He's taking 1 beam, 2 beams. This is the 3rd, 4th, 5th beam, but now he can't take any more. 1 more right click. And that's it. Dragon slain, but still against Megas. Their first successful team fight for Blue is a massive one at 4K, but it may just be too late to save them from this onslaught of Megas. The Monkey King going for a Battle Fury now will help them keep the waves cleared up. Luna, great against Megas, or at least great at killing creeps. I wouldn't say ever having to be good against Megas is a good thing, unless it's like I just don't know that they can come back. I think Red greatly overstayed. All they would need is an Aegis on the Medusa, and then they can very likely win the game. This Doom has a Scythe now, more control, and Fate has no BKB. He's got a Manta, but Nubles, does he want to get this on a solo kill? Fate standing still, Infernal Blade, they net him. They've got the Hex too. He can Doom if he feels that it's really necessary, but the Infernal Blade damage, he does throw it down, and one more Infernal Blade, and Luna just can't stand against this Doom. He's too tanky and does way too much damage. although it did boost Luna's net worth by a significant margin after that last fight. She's now at 15k. So the Medusa not worth quite as much as both the Luna and the Underlord, just as much as the Luna and the Monkey King, which is probably worse. Roy, who I think played the early portions of the game pretty well, has just fallen off. He just hasn't found pickoffs. He hasn't been able to get a really good Wukong's command. The burst damage just hasn't really been there. These boundless strikes have been lackluster as his damage isn't that high right now. And he has a hard time sticking to these heroes. That's the real problem for Roy, I feel like, is he needs to get Jingu Mastery up, but he just hasn't been able to do that. The last shrine, or at least the first shrine, is they haven't claimed the bot one yet. Now falls in a 1k gold per minute lead now for red. And blue, this next wave of megas, it could be the end of them. Luna up in 7 seconds. They need to win this fight, and not only do they need to win it, they need to win it convincingly. But losing Punk, the only thing that convinces me of is that they're going to lose. The Shiva's guard, they do have buyback, but Rempin will die. There's buyback on him too. And the damage is just so much. Shiva's on this guy. The Chrono on all 5 heroes. No, Medusa, the Macroplier, so much damage. It's a rampage for Spade. Is it a double? It's a triple rampage. An absolute slaughter. A beautiful Chrono to end the game. Excellently done. Red, a stylish way to end that first game. A stylish way to win the first part of the series. It is best of 2, so no one wins. But a spectacular finish to a less than spectacular game for blue. So best of luck going them forward into this next game. We'll be back with the second game here in just a minute.